this is Ernest from theartofbeinghuman.com with an input on how to do self-inquiry and the work of Byron Katie. A question I often hear is, can I write a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on myself? And my general answer is, don't. The Judge Your Neighbor worksheet is a very specific process. It's designed for judging someone else so that you can then turn those judgments around to yourself. And when you try to write a worksheet about yourself, that process breaks down. The turnarounds don't work the same way, and even more importantly, it can easily become harsh and self-aggressive, which is not what the work is about. That said, of course you can work on beliefs about yourself, just not with the Judge Your Neighbor worksheet. So what do you do instead? Let's take an example. Say you have the thought, I didn't study well in school. Now, the real issue isn't that you didn't study well in school. If everything in your life today felt rich and fulfilling, you probably wouldn't even think about it. The problem is what you believe that means about you now. So rather than writing a worksheet on yourself, I recommend doing an "and it means" list. And that's very simple. You take the belief, in this case, I didn't study well in school, and then you write down everything you think that means. So, I didn't study well in school, and it means I will never be successful. I didn't study well in school, and it means I don't have a proper education. It means I'm uninteresting for others to talk to. It means I'm lower class in society. And maybe it means I'll never find the partner of my dreams. This list will show you where the real suffering is. Because again, the problem isn't the past itself. The problem is what you believe the past means for your life today. So once you have your list, you work with each belief one by one. For example, we can take the belief, I didn't study well in school, and it means I will never be successful. First, you question it with the 4 questions. So, is it true that the fact that you didn't study well in school means you'll never be successful? Can you absolutely know that that's true? How do you react? What happens when you believe the story that your lack of studies will mean that you're never successful? And who would you be without that thought? And then, when you've been through the questions, you turn it around. And here's something important. You're not turning around the original cause. In this case, I didn't study well in school. We'll hold that as a fact for this inquiry. What you're turning around is the meaning you attach to it. So, I didn't study well in school, and that means I will never be successful. One turnaround is, I didn't study well in school, and it does not mean that I will never be successful. And then you look for examples. And some examples could be that success isn't just about grades or formal education. Many people thrive through resilience and adaptability and emotional intelligence. Another example could be, I've already had moments of success in my life despite this background. Then you go to the next turnaround, which could be in this case, I didn't study well in school, and it means I will be successful. And some examples of this one could be, my creativity and my ability to think outside the box have led me to very meaningful opportunities that rigid academic learning might not have provided. Or another example, some of the most successful people in the world didn't follow traditional educational paths. So what if my journey is unfolding exactly as it should? When you've worked all the way through the first point on the list, you move on to the next one. I didn't study well in school, and it means I'll never find a suitable partner. And you work through that one, and so on. So, my general advice is, do not write a Judge Your Neighbor worksheet on yourself. It's not designed for that. Instead, use one of the other ways that you can work on these beliefs. For example, do an "and it means" list to uncover the real painful beliefs, and then work through those one by one. And as you do, you might discover something unexpected, that the past isn't actually what's holding you back. It's the story you're telling about it that's the problem. And the moment that story shifts, everything changes. I hope that serves and supports you in working with some of these things. If you'd like to go deeper with self-inquiry, you can find a bunch of free resources on my website, along with information about my courses, retreats, books, and much more. Just visit theartofbeinghuman.com and take a look there.